first of all, what does it mean to be a product? What's product mean? Multiplication. Okay. So we're talking about exponent properties when we're multiplying. Okay. There's a total of 7 properties with exponents. We're going to break it up and take it slow. Each section covers 1 to 2 properties. Okay. So you need to first understand what an exponent is. If I told you that I have x to the 4th, tell me what that means. X times x times x 4 times, right? Times x times x times x. Okay. What if I asked you what x to the 3rd times x to the 4th was? It'd be 3 x's times the 4 x's, which would give you what? How would you write that as an exponent? You're 7. Well, how many are there? Look, how many are there? It's multiplying x 7 times. So yes, Christian, that's what I wanted you to see, is what you're doing essentially is you're adding these 2 exponents, right? Does that make sense to you on why? All right. So when you multiply, here's the property. That's what you ain't going to do either. It don't matter what you're talking about. Stop. Y'all got this? So, what y'all just did was you came up with the property on your own. It's called the product of powers property. And what that means is, if you're multiplying, okay, and let's talk about the parts real quick first. What is, if it looks like this, we know the 5 is the exponent, right? What is the x called? Do you know? Remember? Yes. Good job, Elise. It's called the base. Okay. What is it called? What the exponent is hooked to is called the base. So the product of powers property says, when you're multiplying, this is only when you're multiplying, okay? When you're multiplying and the bases are the same, that's crucial. The bases have to be the same. Then you just add the exponents. All right, I'm recording. So, if I have, and I'll even change it up. Let's say I have 7 to the 3rd, times 7 to the 2nd. Okay? Don't multiply the bases because it doesn't work like that. If you're going to combine you can't combine the exponents and the bases. It just doesn't work that way. So you keep the base. So maybe you need to add exponents, keep the base. Yeah. So this becomes 7 to the what? 5th power, because you add them. That's half of what we're doing today. Yes, it's not hard. None of the properties are hard on their own. When we start mixing them up and putting them together, you have to remember what's what. That's why we're taking it slow. Let's do another. What if I have something like this, and it doesn't look like there's an exponent on that x there? There is still a 1. You're exactly right. So what does that become? 2 and 6 is 8, and 1 is 9. We're not graphing right now. Don't even quit worrying about graphing. Don't even worry about graphing right now. Christian, hush your mouth. Yeah. Don't blurt it out. Don't blurt it out. He was talking about on that X. Don't blurt it out when you get it. Look at it just a second. Who's got it? All right. What'd you get, Zamora? Yes. Easy enough. Keep the base the same, add the exponents. When we get through all 7 properties, I have a foldable for you. Would y'all rather get the foldable now and fill in the properties as we go and then all 7? Okay. Now, let's do the second property that we're doing today, and it's the second property on your foldable, okay? It's called the power. Oh, no, it's not either. I put them out of order. It's okay.
It's called product of power. Yeah.
Yeah, you messed up.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. We're going to do power of a product. We are going to do it. We are going to do it.
So we skip
Let's get the second one.
No, we're doing the second one. The next one on here. Power of a product.
Look.
It's a product of power.
Yeah, you told me.
I put product.
Go to, you've already filled in the first one, y'all. That's what we did. We're on number 2. Yes. All right, y'all wait. All right. Power of a product. All right, so this is when it looks like I'm multiplying inside parentheses. Now be very careful because I'm multiplying, not adding, okay? I'm multiplying inside parentheses, but then on the outside I have this exponent that sits here. Okay? When that happens, and you need to pay careful attention that it's only whatever's easiest for you, okay? Only when multiplying in the parentheses. When that happens, and I'll give you a second to copy this. All right. When that happens, what you do is you take this exponent and it distributes to both. So this becomes a to the m times b to the m. You don't have to worry about same base here because it doesn't matter the base. Yep. So let me show you an example. Y'all got this? Let's say I have 9xy to the second power. This is just notes. This doesn't necessarily go in your foldable.
It'd be 9 to...
You can if you want to. Yes, Zaya. Keep going. It'd be 9 to the second. That's right. So it's just 9 squared x squared y squared. What's 9 squared, by the way? Yes. We're going to simplify it. Now, sometimes we mix some properties. Let me give you one more property and then we'll start mixing. 9 to the second power, 9 times 9 is 81. It's easy, right? The third property, before we mix them together, the third property is called power of power. Okay, so this is the next one on your foldable. There's 7. Okay. Although some books do put them all in one day. All right, a to the m, then to the n. Okay, when you raise a power to another power, think about that. That's a lot. If you square a number and then raise it to another power, that's a lot. So what we do is we multiply the exponents. So it becomes a to the m times n. It's a generic, it's just the rule. We write rules with variables so that they're true for all numbers. Now I can give you an example. Here's the rule. Let me show you an example. If I have 2 to the 5th raised to the 3rd, how does that simplify? The base is the same and the exponent becomes 15. Now don't start getting them confused because this and this are different properties. Multiply, power to power multiply. I'll show you in just a second. How about here? What does this become? You add. Remember, keep the base the same. 2. All right, so look at your foldable. You will look at it. The first one's power of a product. It looks like this one. This is, product of powers. This is product of powers. This is power of power. You have to be able to recognize what's what and when you do what. Yep. But maybe I do have some that have parentheses. This one shows up a lot. Look at this one. No. Did you just not? Got it? What if I had y plus 6 to the 3rd power raised to the 4th power? Okay, so yes. The first thing that I see is that I've got a power raised to a power, right? So when you have a power raised to another power, that's the third option on your foldable. What do? You have a power raised to a power, what do? You multiply, right? So this becomes y plus 6 to the what? 12th power. Do we have a property if you're adding inside the parentheses? Are you sure? Look closely. What did you say, Christian? Power of product, but what are they doing inside the parentheses on power of product? They're not adding, multiplying, so it doesn't work. You cannot do anything else with this. It stays. Okay? Remember I made you put in there, you must be multiplying. Okay? Must be multiplying. Let's put a couple of these properties together and see what happens. Because this is when it starts to get, they look easy on their own, but whenever you start putting them together, I want you to look at it for just a second. And I want you to tell me what property do you see? I do see a power of power, but I also see, what did you say, Zaya? Product of powers. Do y'all see that?
So it'd be 2x.
Because the parentheses are there, I need to look at this first, okay? So, product of power, see the one with the parentheses here, with a parenthesis and the exponent on the outside? When something's multiplied inside? So it tells me that I distribute it, right? We'll come to that. It's still part of the problem. So this becomes, I'm going to use power of product to get 2 to the 2nd, right? I'm just distributing. Now look, it was an x to the third, but it's also going to get the 2. What's confusing? All right, I've only done one thing. So y'all are talking about the whole problem. I'm distributing the exponent because you're multiplying. This is a multiply here, right? So if you're multiplying in the parentheses, you distribute the exponent. It will be, Zaya, but you're doing it in your head. You're doing a second property. You're just doing it in your head. I'm showing you one property at a time. So that's good that you see that, and you're not wrong. I'm just taking it one step at a time. Okay? All right, I hope I have you again in just a second. Watch. Look. Tell me what property you see. This is what stands out to me. Power of what, Zaya? You've already done that. What did you say, Zaya? Power of power. Power of product means you're multiplying in the parentheses. Power of power just means you have one thing with 2 exponents. Yeah. The 2 and the x make it 2 different things in there. Maybe that's where that's confusing y'all. All right, so I got 2 to the second. What does this become? What does this one become? X6. And the x4 is still there. That was the power of power. And now, yes, now we're back to that very first property. I look at the ones with the same base. You see that these two have the same base? If they have the same base, then I do what with the exponents? Add the exponents. So I get 2 to the second, x to the 10th. What property is that called? Product of powers. This one will kind of clear the air on where that 2 is. If I have negative 3x to the second power. I know, because this is the same thing. Y'all, you asked me how come this 2 got that 2. Oh. The 3. The 3 was already there.
So you didn't do nothing like you did.
Yep.
So how you get? It was my exponent there, so she distributed.
10 is 6 plus 4. Yep.
Wait, so in this, the two only distribute to the exponent, right?
It distributes to everything inside the parentheses that's being multiplied. Look at this one. And in fact, let me do this. Let me say it's, I don't know why this thing, okay, let me say that it's, what is it doing? Let's say it's negative 3xy to the second. The 2 is going to distribute to all of them. It's going to go to the negative 3, to the x, and to the y. Okay? So it's going to be negative 3. Yep. Right. And what is that property called? Let's do another one. Okay. Yes.
No, not today.
Not today. This will be, yeah. All right. So let's say I have 9m to the third n raised to the 4th power.
Oh, you don't.
I hadn't done anything. All right. Same thing. what's happening inside the
It's
parentheses?
being,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So if I'm
That's power of
look at you. Power of product tells me I can distribute here. Right? All right, so I get 9 to the 4th.
everything going before.
Yep. I already had m to the 3rd, but I'm going to have to raise it to the 4th too.
Oh,
Now you see why we did that before?
Yeah, because
It already had one there.
Yeah.
Now you can do power of a power. What do you do? Yes. So I get M12 in 4, and that is power of
and do you keep
a
like
power.
something?
Yep.